Bill Gallagher. I'm president of the Good Club.
Yay!
Recently re-elected. Thank you. I wanted to announce to everybody so you can tell your friends that didn't come today. They can watch it tonight on KADY TV. This will all be streamed there. So thank you, KADY, for being here.
And how do we find the link?
Ask Bob and just tell you Thank you again. So as we get started, I want to introduce, like I said, I'm president of the Good Club. I want to introduce the officers of the Good Club are here. Our first vice president, Francine, I saw her coming through her little while ago. Okay, she's at the bar, right? This month, actually just a couple weeks ago, we had elections, so we're kind of in a flux. We swear in new officers next month. So Francine will be leaving, and we have a new officer, Ruth Capel, is going to be our first vice president. Ruth's out there signing people up. George Corbin, where are you, George? He's our second vice president, right here. New secretary, Jane. I don't believe Jane's here today. And B&A, our treasurer, she'll be here a little bit later because she's got to write the check for us. Most importantly, I want to thank our sponsors. We did this event a few years ago, and our sponsors stepped up right away and helped us out. This year we went back to the same people. No hesitation, and we picked up a couple new ones, and I just want to point out to everybody, Oxnard Firefighters, Local 1684. They're a sponsor again this year, and they were one of our inaugural sponsors in 2012. SEIU 721, new sponsor. Our good friends, Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, Local 484. Laborers Union, 585, Boys Club. No hesitation on supporting us whatsoever, ever. IBEW, International Electrical Workers. They're a very strong supporter. And our sister club, Working Blue Democratic Club, based out of the Union. And then our longtime friend, Fernando Carmona, did the printing for us for the program. Like I said, this is the second time we've held this event. The first time was in 2012. This is Manny and Irma Lopez's house. It was an election year kickoff, and there's some very important things going on at that time. 2012 was a big year. The open primary was our first experience there. We were faced with redistricting, and then local elections were going on as well. So as we come back again for the second time, 2014, we're really faced with kind of the same situation again. Open primary, still facing us. With redistricting, we had a really good year. Could have done a little bit of improvement, but redistricting served us very well. But we're still have the effects of it this year, that we've got to maintain the gains that we got in the past. And with that, we had successes and we had challenges as well as opportunities. The challenge, keeping our Congresswoman Julie Brownley in office. And opportunity, we have an open seat in the 44th Assembly District, and we have a real good chance. We want to pick that seat up, and I think I saw one of our candidates. Anyways, as we kick off this election year, really it's only fitted that we come here together to honor the elected Democrats in our community. They serve us in many areas. Local government, school boards, boards of education, water districts, harbor board, all of these things that are very important to our community. These individuals are not necessarily our farm team. Some may go on to other elected positions, maybe even partisan office. But many have served in the positions that they served for many years. Most important, that they're serving our community, looking out for our children, providing public safety, protecting our resources, and improving our economy. So, as we kick off this election year, we'll be working closely with our county party, our state party, and our good club members will be out in full strength to help Democrats get elected. Thank all of you for coming. Thank you for your patience in us getting started. Now, at this time, I'd like to invite, perfect timing, our keynote speaker, Congresswoman Julie Brown.
We love Ventura County, and we really care about everyone who lives here and the quality of life here in Ventura County. And it's so nice to be here with all of you today. And yes, each and every one of you, I owe great indebtedness and great thanks to, because certainly I would not have been elected without your help and support, and I am extremely, extremely grateful for that. And there is no question, as I say every time I'm at a podium, we made history in Ventura County by electing for the first time a Democrat in this congressional seat in 70 years. So thank you. For that, and it took a lot of hard work, as you all know. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of telephone calling, a lot of knocking on doors, a lot of raising money. It was a major, major effort to make this happen, and we succeeded. And the reason we succeeded is because of all of the hard work that each and every one of you did. And we succeeded because our values are the values of Ventura County. And those values are about making sure the quality of life here and across our great country is good for each and every person who lives here. And that's about growing our economy from the middle out, not old policies of top-down economics. This is about making sure that we have comprehensive immigration reform and fighting for what is right. And making sure that we're keeping our communities and our families together and not going back on a promise and going back on a civil rights action to make a second tier class of citizens. We need immigration reform where we have a full, clear pathway to citizenship. We do not want immigration reform that's going to create a two-tiered society. That is not the direction that we want to go into. We share the values of every single person should have a living wage. There's no one should work full-time and still live in poverty. That is completely unacceptable. We share the value of, as I said a couple of weeks ago, and as the President said in his State of the Union address, when women succeed, America succeeds, Ventura County succeeds. And we need to continue to fight for women's rights, for equal pay. Still at 77 cents on a dollar. I think here in Ventura County it's actually 78 cents to a dollar. So we're slightly better than the national average, but we can do better than that. We need to make sure that when we still have to fight for free choice of women, and make sure that women can make their own personal decisions about their own health care. And so we need fair pay. we need family leave. There's so many things that we still need to do to make it equitable for women in our society. But those are the values, these are the values that we all share. We want to make sure that our seniors, after they work hard in life, that they too have a retirement that is a good retirement, that's a dignified retirement. There's so many other things that we need to work on, but we all share those values. And as we head towards 2014, we've got still a lot more work to do, a lot more work to be done. And this next election for me and for many in Ventura County is not going to be easy. And particularly in my campaign, we've now been highly targeted by the GOP. We're one of their top 5 targeted races in the country. I wish I could say in California, but it's actually in the country. And we all know in a midterm election, I think we're all very fortunate that Governor Brown will be reelected and easily reelected, but that's not helpful in terms of driving our voters out. So we're going to have to double down on that telephone calling and knocking on doors and making sure that we get our voters out so that Ventura County can continue to move forward and we can continue to be successful and we can continue to fight for what we believe is right. And I also, before I conclude, I want to really thank all of you for everything that you do. I want to thank all of the electeds who are here in this room, who work hard every day and cheer Valentine's Day every single day because they love Ventura County and they care about the people who live here, whether it's a school board, whether it's our county leadership, our city council leadership, our labor leadership, community members across the board, all of you. I want to thank you for everything that you do every single day to make our county so great. It's because of your work and because of your effort that we can say Ventura County is a blue county today. We need to keep it blue. We need to make it royal blue. That is our direction and that is our goal. And all of you are part of that. And I thank you very much.
As I look, I kind of compare, I mentioned earlier about when we did this in 2012, and as you open your program and you see the list of electeds that we have, and looking back, there's been a few changes. City councils and redistricting had a big effect on us, but really a lot of the names are the same. And when we put this together, what we really wanted to do is we wanted to recognize our local Democrats that are elected. And so in doing that, we told them, please come. We want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and tell a little bit about what you do in your elected position. And so I want to kind of start that out, give each one of them a few minutes to talk. And I'll kind of go back and forth on our list so we don't go like down the list or anything like that. And I'll start with our Board of Supervisors, and then I'm going to jump to the end, and I'm going to ask Bruce Gandy, who's in the Water District, to come up second. And we'll just go back and forth. But Oxnard, Greater Oxnard Organization of Democrats in our area, we have 3 supervisors that cover us. We're very lucky that they're the 3 best supervisors. Yeah. And so, having said that, I'm going to ask you, Bennett, to come up, the supervisor for the 1st District, who represents part of Oxnard.
Thank you, Bill. I know there are a lot of people that want to get up here and just mention a few things. Represent the 1st District. The 1st District runs from Ojai through all of Ventura and about 1/6 of Oxnard, mostly the River Park area. I used to represent the South Bank area along the river, but in the redistricting, Supervisor Zaragoza has taken the role. just a couple things. Bill said, what are the basic things that we do? And we're in charge of the health, welfare, and safety of the citizens in Ventura County. That's basically our mission. I like to say that the county government is at the end of the pipeline. We almost raise no revenue. We don't get to raise taxes, et cetera. We're dependent upon the good policies of the federal government, the state government, and then we are many times mandated to actually put those policies in place. So whether it's the funding for foster children comes from the state, but we're the ones that have to actually put it into place. And I like to oftentimes say we are the ones that are most directly responsible for the day-to-day operations of the safety net that I think makes all of us feel proud to live in Ventura County. And we're proud because you can measure a civilization, measure a community by how well it takes care of those people that are most vulnerable. I think that we work really hard at doing that. I'm really happy to be linked up with somebody like Supervisor Zaragoza. Our districts are right next to each other. We work closely on lots of issues, and I really appreciate that. Final thing I want to say is an example of why it's so important to have a good club, why it's so important to have you people out there. Not everybody's willing to do the hard nuts and bolts things that Congresswoman Brownlee just mentioned, which is the knocking on the doors, the making the phone calls, and getting the word out. Not everybody's willing to do that, but it is absolutely essential to make sure that the Republicans don't grab control here in Ventura County. And why is that so important? Because there's an initiative being put forward right now that it just falls right into classic examples of the difference between the principles of a good club, the principles of the Democratic Party, and the principles of the Republicans and the Tea Party conservatives that are really trying to take over here in Ventura County. There's a pension reform initiative that's put out there by the taxpayers. And it is one of those classic things that on the surface has a great deal of appeal to the citizens. Pension reform, there were abuses out there. The state did a good job of actually coming up with the reforms that we need. We haven't even had a chance to put those all into place and see what the impacts are. And now they're going to try to switch us over to this defined benefit program here in Ventura County. That will be a tragedy, particularly for the working class and the working class poor. All of the evidence says they cannot make it work with 401ks. They need to have a pension program that's a defined benefit program. We have reformed our system here. We can keep that system strong, but we're going to have to work like crazy to really overcome the initial lead that they have in this thing. And that's why it's great to have a good club. That's why it's great to have people that can pull this county together. And we're going to have to be real leaders because right now, popularity-wise, this one's behind. And we have to step up and use our political capital to convince people what's wrong with this initiative and why it's not going to be good for people in Ventura County. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing that point up. It's real important. We're all going to be talking about that soon. And now I'd like to move to the United Water Conservation District and Bruce Stanley.
Bill, thank you. Thank you to the Good Clubs for having this event. Bruce Dandy, I'm a board member of the United Water Conservation District for a little over 10 years. We are a water conservation district. Our goal is to protect the aquifer. We have a dam at Lake Peru, I believe there's another lake. We manage water on the Santa Clara River. It goes into our subversions out at Los Angeles Avenue. And we try and put that water back into the aquifer or deliver it to City of Oxnard, City of Ventura, agriculture in the area, in lieu of their pumping in the Oxnard Plain, because this organization was created to fight seawater intrusion. Seawater intrusion that was bringing the salt water into the ocean and fouling wells and then hurting crops and the use of water within Ventura County. We have critical issues. Congresswoman Brownlee was kind enough to tour our facility a few weeks ago and got her ears full from Solomon. I hope and I know that she's paid attention to where we are and there's many issues. I'm afraid I'll tell you today the water rates will increase. We are in a drought. We're in the third year. We are looking at 1990 drought conditions. The governor has asked for a 20% reduction in water usage. United has, just this last week, approved asking for a 20% water reduction in our service areas with potential of a 40% reduction in another year if things continue on the trend that they are on. It is difficult to manage water when we have some infighting amongst ourselves. I'll mention that Wichita, who I'm sure you're familiar with, Jason Wiener, they filed a complaint with the State Water Resources Control Board saying that we pay too little for water in Ventura County, that the water rates need to go up, the water needs to be free-flowing down the Santa Clara River so that there can be kayaking and rafting and improve recreational opportunities rather than tend for the water as United has tried to do over the last 15 years. With that, I thank you for this opportunity. I'll turn it back over to Doug.
Don't you love Democrats? Anytime you get an opportunity, you got a cause and you got to bring it up. Good for you. Thank you. No offense, Steve, but my favorite supervisor, John Zaragoza.
Thank you, Bill, and you're my favorite Democrat. I just want to thank Bill at the Good Club. You know, Bill is the president of the Good Club, and he's doing an excellent job. And I want to thank the Knights of Columbus for allowing us to be here. We have Katie Castillo, the Grand Knight. I'm also
Hey,
Steve was saying additionally that the city of, the county of Ventura provides many services like mental health and health issues and we work with public safety, which is extremely important, our sheriffs and firefighters. But before I get there, I just want to share with you that I also belong to the RDP 21, Regional Defense Plan. And the Regional Defense Plan has to do with safety on bases. There's 18,000 jobs and $2 billion budget, and I want to thank our Congresswoman Brownie for helping us out. Every time we go to DC, she opens the door and she says, there's Ventura County and there's Oxnard. So she's very good about that. And also, one of the things that we did we are also the member of the Airport Authority, and there was 5 acres over at the base that belonged to the DOD, the Department of Defense. And then we went over to Juba Brownlee and said, hey, can you help us out when we get this land transferred from the DOD to the Airport Authority? And she did it, and that is going to bring us a lot of money. So we thank her again for that. Are very fortunate to have her in Congress, and I support it 100%. I think that we need to re-elect her again. We need to re-elect Julia Brownlee to say that. Yes. And as Steve was saying, one of the things that we do in the Congress is provide many, many services. And one of the things I'd like to share with you, we have a $2 billion budget in the county of Ventura, and we have probably one of the best budgets you can find in the whole state for that matter. In fact, when I was chairman of the board, we went to Standard & Poor's in New York City, and we ended up with a AAA. And what do we have now, Steve? Double, AAA? It's just outstanding. And so what that means to us is every time that we borrow money, instead of we all borrow money for mortgages and cars and so forth, and the type of money that we pay depends on the interest rate. Because of our good rating, for example, if we were to pay 3 or 5%, and lower that percentage down by 1 point or 2 points. In our case, when we borrow billions or millions, you're talking millions of dollars of savings. So that's the type of rating that we have, and that's because we have a good partnership in the Board of Supervisors. And I want to commend our supervisor, Steve Bennett, for we have the partnership in Ventura County is extremely, extremely important. And as I mentioned, I represent the 5th District, Strickland, El Rio, 9 acres, most of Oxnard, the beach area, Silver Strand, Hollywood, Mandalay, and all the way to McGrath. And I can tell you that we've done a lot for the communities. We've done a lot for the 5th District. I've had town hall meetings. We just had a town hall meeting at the California CARE Act. We're having another meeting with Sister Bill this coming Tuesday with the Mixteco community where we're going to train them, insert and other programs, that are safety programs in case of a tsunami, in case of an earthquake. People say, well, we don't have tsunamis here, but remember, Oxnard is only, what, 30 foot, maybe above sea level. And those are the kind of things that we're doing, many other things too. I want to also thank our neighbors, and I want to thank our neighbors because they've helped us tremendously. And we go back where David Valenzuela and his crew helped us out of the operating engineer and all those folks. We actually went and paved a street in El Rio. A street in El Rio for, what is it, 3/4 of a mile, David? It was a $500,000 project. And O'Leary was one of the persons that brought that to my attention. And I'll give you that credit, Dennis. But we went out there.
But you did it.
Thank you. And we paid that. We paid that. It was $500,000 worth of materials, and I can't remember how much in labor. They did it free of charge. No cost to the taxpayer. And that's the kind of partnership that we need between government and the private sector and our laborers. And also, of course, our firefighters, our Oxnard firefighters have been really gracious in helping us out. And I know we have the firefighter of the year right here with us. Raise your hand. Come on. And I know that Mayor Pro Tem is very proud that she's right here with us. Right, Mayor Pro Tem. I want to thank you, and thank the Good Club, and I think the theme today is Love Democrats, Love Democrats, Love Democrats.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
And it gives me a little donkey.
I want to make clear, the road that he talked about in El Rio was a private roadway, so there couldn't be any public funds that were used for that. People had, the children had to walk to school down that road. By the time they got to school, they were filthy dirty. And so it was just an area where there was no help that could be provided except for somebody stepping forward and providing it. And the laborers and other unions really helped out on that. So I'd like to invite the president of the Harbor Commission, Mary Ann Rooney, to be our next speaker.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here this afternoon with all of you. And I want to first start off in thanking Julie Brownlee. It was about 2 weeks into your first term when the Harbor District came knocking at your door. I don't know if all of you know, but our port was shut down for 2 days for $300 because of the sequestration issue, and we called upon you and you stood up and took care of that and got our port up and running again. Thank you. So I want to tell you a little bit about what the port does. We make cargo move, and we do that all over the western United States and also up into Canada. $7 billion of product comes through our port every year, and we create almost 10,000 jobs that stay right here locally, and we're very proud of that. So we focus on economic prosperity, environmental stewardship, and social responsibility. And we do that in a lot of different ways, creating almost $67 million of impact right here in our community, 10,000 jobs as I mentioned, and we provide good paying jobs. They are good working class jobs right here at the Port of Hueneme. Just last year, we created 180 new jobs that didn't exist the year before. I'm very proud of that. Environmental stewardship, we just completed our shoreside power project, so when you see those big vessels coming in here, they're going to plug into electricity and shut off the fuel that they burn when they come into the port. We're very grateful for the Ventura County Transportation Commission, who supplied $1.7 million to help us finish that project. And I want to thank the supervisors who sit on VCTC, both Supervisor Zaragoza and Bennett, for your support in that to help us finish that project. And then on the social responsibility part, we support our local nonprofits, the people who are in this community doing good work and working for the local nonprofits and serving our community. So we provide financial support to them to help them fulfill their mission and to make our district a better place to be. So we do all of those really great things with zero tax dollars from you. So we want to keep it that way and appreciate all of your support. If you want to come out and see what we do at the end of the street, just give us a call and come out, take a look at the port. Thank you so much.
Mayor Pro Tem Carmen Ramirez.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. It's great to be here with all you fabulous people. It's been an amazing experience to be on City Council. It's so great to be able to participate and make some good decisions for our community, some hard decisions. And I'm very proud of the fact that our city is on the road to really focusing inward. How do we improve quality of life for the people who live here, particularly our young people, our working people, better jobs, better education. We hope better housing. We're challenged with our budget. You know, we don't have the same resources we used to have, but we have to use everything very wisely, be transparent, be accountable, be very fiscally responsible. At the same time, not lose sight of the things we need to do for the future. One of the things I'm very proud of is that we in the city of Oxnard have taken back our materials recycling facility, also known as Del Norte Recycling. We know that in the first year, we are told we're going to save $3 million. So it depends on all of us that to do our part, just like we need to do with the water. We need to conserve. We can't just treat it like an inexhaustible resource. It's not. It's absolutely precious. We need to think about how we deal with trash. There's a saying, trash is gold, and it really is. And I'm very proud of the fact that our new employees that are actually going to be transitioning to the City of Oxnard employees will be unionized. Ultimately, they'll have better pay, better working conditions, and I understand things are already going really well, so I'm very proud of it. But please, if you live in the City of Oxnard, join in the effort. We are on the road to zero waste, and we're having a workshop next Saturday, 9 to noon at Recycling Center, how we all can get involved, personal responsibility. I always say there's nothing that's going to improve our city more than improving the educational outcomes for our cities. Now, I'm not on the school board, we have members of our school boards here, and that is really job one, training, educating, and believing in our young people. And so I want to thank the members of the school board here. I see you all over there, from preschool to Cal State Channel Islands, everybody in between. I just want to say I have the nominating petition in my hands for Doss Williams, so those of you who live in this district, which is the other side of Gonzales, please sign this so he can save a few bucks for the campaign. So, thank you all. It's great to be here.
West of Ventura Road is also Doss's district. Oxnard School District, when we held this event last time, Veronica was going into her first term. So Veronica Robles Solis, please.
Thank you. Well, time flies when you're having fun. Well, my name is Veronica Robles Solis. I'm on the elementary school board trustee, and as going into my 4th year, it's very interesting and actually exciting to see our community, to see our students, to see how engaged some of our parents, and we need to engage more parents to get involved in education. Every child, I believe, deserves the best education, and working together, we need the support of the community to make a difference. Teachers, staff, parents, we cannot do it alone. We need it does take a village to make a difference. As a parent and as a community member, I believe in the students of Oxnard deserve the best education. Many changes are happening in our district, many exciting changes. Where do I start? Construction will start in 2015 at Harrington, Elm, and Lemonwood. And I'm very excited to know that and to see that we are going to provide the best buildings, best schools to our students. We are going into academies. Our middle schools are returning into STEM, robotics, dance, arts. So we're bringing much of what is needed in our schools beginning the year 2014, the school year. And, you know, we cannot do it again alone. We need the support of the community to make a difference. And just, you know, whenever you're in the area, stop by the district, talk to our superintendent to see what our needs are and where we could involve more of our community. Once again, it's my 4th year and I cannot stop saying that I'm having fun actually, knowing that we're supporting our students. We are making a difference in our community, and I'm working for our 3 constituents, which is our students. Thank you.
Greater Oxnard organization of Democrats moves out to Oxnard, and we're very happy to have Ellis Green from Port Hueneme City Council. While Ellis is coming up, I will mention John Sharkey was here earlier, but he says they have a new city manager and he wants to get a jump on Ellis talking to the guys.
Thank you, Bill. And first of all, thank you to the Good Club and also the Knights of Columbus for making this meeting possible. I think it's very timely. It gives us a chance to set off what's going to be coming up as a Super Bowl season. I'm completing my first term for the people of Port Hueneme. And for those of you that don't know, Port Hueneme is the essence of democracy and what the Democratic Party stands for. We're the small guy. We're the smallest coastal city around. We're made up of working class people, union people, retired people, and military servicemen and women. Our economic base is low. We don't have shopping malls. We don't have auto malls. So we have to make do. We bear the brunt of the economic innings for the county because we're bordered by the naval base in Ventura County. We're bordered by the port. Of course, we have our great neighbor, the city of Oxnard, and we have our ocean. Our ocean is getting closer because we run out of sand. And our biggest thing is to get the federal government to meet up with this obligation to provide sand replenishment for the problem that they created when they built the port and some of the harbors, deepwater harbors above Port Hueneme. Until they do that, we're going to suffer. We have had to mitigate having our infrastructure damaged. We've been fortunate to get some emergency assistance from the state who stood forward for us. We have our Congresswoman Julia Brownlee, who's trying to get Congress to move, but they're just not moving fast enough. Beyond that, we're going to continue to work. I'm going to be working for re-election. I'll be out supporting the grassroots effort for the Democrats and for our labor, because right now there's an assault on labor, and every Democrat needs to take that to heart and fight for it, because that's one of the strong points of our party. Thank you all for voting Democrat.
As I look at this list of elected Democrats, there's some pretty good majorities in some of these boards, so we're looking really good in a lot of places. I see a few places we need to work a little bit, but the Oxnard School District has pretty much loaded up with Democrats, and so we're counting on you. And I'd like to ask Anna Del Rio Barba to come up, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you to the Good Club for sponsoring this and the Knights of Columbus. Thank you, Grant Knight. I won't go into a lot of detail because Veronica did a really good job of touching on what we're doing at the Oxnard Elementary School District. I do want to thank the voters for passing Measure R, which really propelled us into the new construction of facilities, reconfigurations that we're doing at our district. So thank you to all the voters out there. I'm really excited. The school district is not what it was. This is my 12th year on the school board. When I was first elected, we had year-round education. We got out of that, which was detrimental to our students. And right now we're reconfiguring our schools, K-5, 6 through 8, and then K-8s. So it's a lot of changes going on. Education is not what it was when I was in kindergarten. So it's a lot of exciting times, and I think it's a good time to be a student. So I'm really excited that we're able to offer a lot of the fun stuff that we used to have when we were at school. But we have a lot of work ahead of us, and yes, it is a re-election year, and I am running for the school board again, so I appreciate your support. Thank you.
And like I say, Democrats are really represented well in the field of education. And I'd like to call up Ramon Flores from the County Board of Education.
Yeah.
I was with Ramon yesterday where he mentioned that it really makes a difference on the board. There's 3 Democrats on his board, and he says the Republicans stand out quite well, so.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Again, like everybody else, I want to thank the Good Club, I want to thank the Knights of Columbus, and did not even know that Grand Knights existed, so we know something. Second year. So, the Ventura County Board of Education, I think, is one of those very interesting organizations that, quite frankly, I don't think most people know much about us. Real quickly, first thing that stuck out of my head when I came on board is we have a 165-member board. And I think we want good people, smart people, people who care about our students in terms of making the decision of how that money is spent. A third of that budget roughly goes to special ed. And we're talking special ed throughout the county, special ed throughout the spectrum, everything from Asperger's, autism, to kids who just struggle. We have schools where our students are 18 to 22 years old, who have mental capacity every 2 years. And I shrug, and I think, where would those kids be if those schools didn't exist? We run the regional occupational program. We recognize college is not for every student. So we want to provide opportunities for students to do other things, whether it's computer repair, auto body design, horticulture. And one of the great soundbites that stuck with me is those kids that go through our ROB programs and graduate with a certificate of completion have a 98% employment rate. That is mind-boggling. Another program we run is the MicroNet program. $3 million budget that we have for that, and I'm proud to say that in my 5 years on the board, we have not dropped $1 from that program. I can tell you that the Supervisor Bennett said about being a voice for those that are vulnerable, and being a voice for those that don't have a voice at all. We run special schools for kids that are incarcerated. We have a school off of Vineyard called Providence. Kids run into problems, they have a hard time, but they still get an education. And the majority of these kids are Latino. So I think it's important whenever we have their graduations, I make it a point to look at every single one of them, because our students, when they graduate, it's hard enough, but when they graduate under those conditions, we make it a big deal. We want to actually make it a big deal. We have another school at the airport called Gateway for kids that are on probation. Again, the majority of these kids, Latino. It's important for them to have resources, it's important for them to have role models. One of the reasons I decided to run into Jim Hensley, as seen here, one of the main guys who pushed me, is when I did a little bit of the research, the county board, our 5 seats, had the same jurisdiction as our supervisors and as our community college district. And when I pulled the string on our seat, I could not find, and I think I went as far back as 1980, I could not find a Latino representative plus in the 5th district. And how can you speak to our Latino issues when you've never experienced that? You were talking, a phrase I use is you're talking to the proxy. I live in Oxford, my kids went to the school districts here, I speak the real thing. So for that, again, I appreciate the time and for the good work. And I cannot say this again, we've got to get Julia Brown and re-elected.
We have a good theme here. Everybody wants to get Julia reelected, that's for sure. And also, maybe you've noticed that really a lot of these members of government in the different areas, there's a lot of interaction between us, so it's very helpful that we form these good relationships. I'd like to bring up now from the Community College District, Art Hernandez, with District. He was napping, but...
Thank you, Bill. I wanted to just quickly share with you that we've had, as everyone knows, some real challenges with budgets that were very devastating on all of us, all services, city services, the county, and the college district was no different. And when you're dealing with budgets, it doesn't bring out the best in people sometimes, and when you're trying to represent. So it was some very challenging times. But what I'm very proud of is that our community colleges, and with the support of people like our Mayor Pro Tem Carmen Ramirez, and our Supervisor John Sargos, and many others, when we were meeting challenges and we needed to stand up and say that education was important to our community, they came up and stood with me at our boards and said, this is what's important to our community. So I want to thank them. I'm really humbled at being able to be here with all of you, because really to be able to serve is just, you're just there, and you can either you can give an opinion, but when you have a community support that cares about education, cares about things, it really empowers you, and it gives you a real real desire to continue to do everything you need. One of the other things too that we're very proud of, and I'm proud of in the community college, is that we can say that we can provide a quality education to our 30,000 students, including for Moore Park, Ventura, and Oxnard colleges, and we can be a good employer, and we can have a good partnership, and we can work with our unions. And I want to thank Steve Hall, who's also on the high school board, but he is president of the AFT, our teachers union. I think that together we've all been able to show that we can all work together and provide a quality education to our students and to the residents of Ventura County. So thank you to all of you for allowing me this opportunity to speak. Again, I'll join in too that we need to keep Julia Brownlee there. Selfishly, we have a lot of career technical education where we can then again partner with our labor partners through workforce dollars. We need to bring in some of those workforce dollars for trainings. Not everyone is heading to a 4-year degree. We have career technical education, a lot of students who are looking for some skills, and we need to prepare them for employment for the future. So thank you all very much.
Another Oxnard School Board member, Dennis O'Leary.
Thank you for having me. Art is happy. He said that he wanted to speak before me. Thank you to the Good Club, Knights of Columbus, for hosting us. And it is important that our community reflect the ideals of our community. The people who are elected to office are just that, and there's a responsibility that goes along with it. I consider my post now for 10 years as a school district trustee, by the way, in the largest K-8 elementary school district in the state of California. I didn't know that either until this year. I consider it a job of a canary in the mine because quite often we are the first to see the effects, either good or negative, of what comes down from legislation, either on the federal level, state, or local level, or what needs to be improved, the opportunities. And I'm very pleased to say that with Julia Brownlee in office, I'm able to make a phone call and get a good response. Just a couple years ago, that wasn't necessarily the case. So we need to keep her and other very good, capable people. Jackie, see you in Sacramento. Okay. You better. As a teacher and a trustee, when I stand in front of a class, you can imagine just yesterday, Valentine's Day, with 12-year-olds. And yes, we went through fractions, and we went through how volcanoes erupt and all that, and I will find out Monday if they remembered any of that lesson, but anyway. You know, standing in front of my kids, I always have to reflect, because if the child comes to school hungry, it's going to be harder for them to pay attention. If they come to school afraid they're going to be beat up in the school, they're worried about that. If they come to school worried that they're going to be beat up in the streets, they're going to be worried about that. They're not listening to how to multiply two fractions. If their parents come home underpaid, with no or minimal health benefits, with no security, the child is going to be worried about that. So we are the canary in the mine. Got my union people over here. I located myself at the table, recognized them right away. They're the ones with the smiles and the fist up, you know what I'm saying? You know, yes, voters, thank you voters. We passed a very big budget. We're doing a lot of construction, a lot of good things in the district. 3 letters, PLA. We need to make sure that it's cyclical, that it goes back, because what goes to the community will come back into the classroom. Guess what? They are our future, so it evolves. Just yesterday, I got a phone call from one of the members of your office, and thank you for taking my phone call, and we're going to be working on some good projects here shortly. Thank you to the Good Club. We got a good year ahead. Got a lot of work to do. Okay?
Dennis always knows the right topics to hit on, I'll tell you. Our last but not least, obviously, Steve Hall from the Oxnard Union High School District. And I'd like to mention, as Steve's coming up, we have 51 elected Democrats in our area.
Thank you. And I also want to thank the Good Club for putting on this event, and also echo what other people said, that we need to get Julia Browning reelected. And also so I just want to give you an update on what's happening at the Oxnard Union High School District. When I ran for office last year, I promised I would push forward on new construction on 2 new high schools. We'll be breaking ground on the new high school in Camarillo on March 1st. Yes. And I'm proud to say that will be done with local union.
Does that mean personal liabilities or what?
Thank you. He was
part of that group, wasn't he?
We're all very proud of that. We're all very proud that we'll be doing that with local union labor. And also we'll be breaking ground on a new, not breaking down, but having a opening ceremony for a new swimming pool and aquatic facility at Union High School. And our school board is also working on identifying a new site for a new high school in Oxnard, which is long overdue. We're doing the best we can to find a site. We're going to try to build that as fast as we can. I'd also like to thank the voters for voting for Measure H in 2004. And also, thank you to the voters for voting for Prop 30, because we will now begin with the new revenue coming into the state of California, which Governor Brown is now sending to the high schools. We will now begin to recover from the devastating cuts that we've had to education over the last 5 years. We've had several community forums, and we'll have more. We're out asking parents, teachers, and community members about it as far as how you want us to spend the money, because we are going to get a considerable amount of money this year, and we're looking at all kinds of things that we've been talking about, restoring school days to the calendar, perhaps reducing class size, all the things we know we need to do to provide our students with the support and education they need to be the future Democrats of this county. So, thank you.
Well, the greater Oxnard area of Democrats just got greater. We do have a city council person here from Thousand Oaks, and she's a candidate for the 44th Assembly District. At the Democratic pre-endorsement conference last weekend, I think it was, she got 90% of the vote, so we have real high hopes.
Kind of like an imposter coming here, but I just wanted to just give a little update on the campaign. Yes, I got 90% last week. I'm very excited about how the race is going. I'm so happy with the support I've gotten from labor, and I will be there to support you, and I will be there to support education, and I will make sure that we turn this seat blue. I'm very excited. Funny though to sit here with the Good Club and honor all the elected Democrats. If I was sitting with the elected Democrats in Thousand Oaks, there would be 3 of us. But we are very excited. Just a lot of things are being accomplished there, but one of our big things is the 101-23 interchange, and that really is a big regional project, VCTC. We have federal money, we have state money, and it is going to be creating a lot of jobs, so we're very excited about that.
Yeah.
Now, so Great things going on in Oxnard. The construction at the high school, hearing about all that is exciting. The construction at the elementary schools. And I think the extra funding that comes from the state this year for education is really important because we need to bring everybody up in this county. It is very important that that money goes to the schools. And again, I think it's fantastic that the Good Club is doing this to honor the elected officials. I know many of you work long hours for very little money. Often you're up there getting criticism from all the malcontents at your board meetings. But you are really the ones that are serving the community, serving the most vulnerable people, and making sure that there's a great future here in Oxnard. So really, I'm here today to say thank you for all you do to serve the people of Oxnard.
That's all of our electeds that we have to speak to us today, but as you can see, we're very diverse in what we represent in the community. As Democrats, we know we need to get out and work really hard in 2014. And I just wanted to bring Patrick Donahue up just for a couple of minutes. He's the Executive Director of the Ventura County Central Committee, and he'll tell us what we're doing on a county level.
If you can hear me, clap once.
Hey, it works, right? I'm going to take a step back because me and microphones tend to be a scary combination. It's an honor to be here. Oxnard is not only the largest city in the county, it is the most democratic city in the county. And the people in this room are the reason why. First, again, I think we need another round of applause for our allies in labor. They're always there for us. They're what makes it all possible. Thank you to our elected officials, and I'm so excited. This year is a real opportunity for us in Ventura County. We not only have an amazing representative for us in Congress, my old boss, Julia Brown. We need to help make sure she gets defended this year because then she's stuck with us. If we can get her through 2014, we will have her representing us in Congress for a long time to come. We have 80-44. This is going to be the most important assembly race in the state. It's the reality. We have our 2/3 majority. Remember, my entire life I've been told California is dysfunctional. It can't get anything done. And then a funny thing happened a couple of years ago. Democrats finally got a controlling majority in the State House, and everything turned around. Funny how that works. And so we need to make sure it stays that way. And we are going to do that by making sure we turn 80-44 blue. And we are going to do that with Jackie Irwin, who I'm so excited to be working with. And so we have a long uphill battle to go. You know, beyond that, we have countless county and city and school board races that we are actively looking for candidates. So one, I'm sure those who are elected and up for re-election will be talking soon. But those who are interested in getting involved at the local level, we need more good people to stand up, be counted, and run for office. And so please find me, please find Bill. We need you to get involved. And we're now looking at an unprecedented effort. It's right now already, he's shy, but Colin in the corner, there we go. He's here from the CDP as Julia's new field director. We're gearing up to start now. In the next few weeks, we're going to be starting up countywide an aggressive permanent absentee voter conversion and voter registration program. It's the reality. One thing we should again all be proud of: Ventura County, 3rd highest registered county in the state. More of our citizens are registered to vote than almost anywhere else. But what we also have is the 3rd lowest rate of permanent absentee voter. That means most of the people who vote only vote at the polls. Why do we need to change that? For one thing, being registered to vote by mail makes you 2 to 5 times more likely to actually vote. Not only that, it frankly makes my and Colin's job easier. If you're registered to vote by mail, we have an entire month to actually get you to turn in that ballot and vote. If you're only registered to vote at the polls, we have to make sure you turn out on election day. Which means the reason anyone in this room not registered to vote by mail, the single best way to make those annoying phone calls stop come election season, register to vote by mail and turn your ballot in the day you get it, and I promise we won't bother you anymore. So it's very exciting. If you want to get involved, and we desperately need people to get involved, please talk to myself, please talk to Colin before you leave today.
March 2nd, right?
Yeah, March 2nd, we're going to be having a meeting here in Oxnard for the Oxnard efforts. We're holding them across the county. We need to get started now, and we need to go all the way to November, and we're going to show them just how blue Ventura County can be. So thank you guys, and keep up the great work.
Before we close, really the most important person to the Good Club just arrived, and that's DNA, our treasurer. DNA. And she's also elected to the Hueneme School District, so would you like to come up and tell us a little bit about that?
Caught me off guard.
Yeah, we're good at that. What do you get from the light?
DNA.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's really great to see so many electeds and so many people here supporting the Good Club and everyone else who's a member of a Democrat. And with that, I am on the Hueneme Elementary School Board, and it's been about a year now, so I'm still learning and still just really trying to get a grasp of what the education system is like, especially with all the changes coming up this year, and really diving into the local control funding formula and seeing how best we can help the students in the area to do better and have better opportunities than maybe some of us have had. So with that, let's keep moving forward. This is an election year, and of course, can't say it enough that we're here to support Congresswoman to be with us another couple of years, hopefully. So with that, thank you so much.
DNA works for my congressperson, Lois Capps. In closing, again, I want to thank everyone for coming. It's been really good. The ones that did show up, we're a little disappointed on our turnout, but that's the way things are. We count on you, and we're glad you're here. You're the ones that we really need, and so thank you for coming here. And before we leave, I just want to say a couple more things. Thank you to our sponsors, Oxnard Firefighters, Local 1684, SEIU 721, Plumbers and Pipe Fitters 484, Neighborhood Union 585, International Brotherhood of Electric Workers 952, Working Blue Democratic Club, and of course Fernando Carmona. And you can see who our supporters are in the Democratic Party. Thank you all for coming.